Following the guidelines that were written in the new Constitution, George Washington of Virginia was elected to be the first President of the United States of America, and John Adams of Massachusetts was chosen to be his Vice President. 2 months after his election, George Washington, at the age of 57, was inaugurated President. He was about to begin the extraordinarily difficult task of leading the world's only democracy, a type of government that hadn't been tried for a very long time. In fact, democracy had succeeded just once, and that was for a brief time back in ancient Greece. In 1789, the year Washington was elected, U.S. territory extended from the Atlantic coast to the Mississippi River, far beyond the boundaries of the original 13 colonies. Even so, most of North America was not under the control of the United States, for to the north in Canada lay territory controlled by Great Britain, while to the south and west lay territory mostly claimed by Spain. America's nearly 4 million citizens were spread over a very wide area, and the new federal government would serve to unify them all. It would collect taxes, regulate and oversee certain activities of their states, and it would also defend them in times of war. America's first president was a man very much beloved by the citizens of his country. He was a brave man who had led the Continental Army to victory over the British in the War for Independence. And he was a highly respected political leader who had presided over the convention that drew up the U.S. Constitution. Before Washington could start to carry out his duties as president, the United States Congress had to do 2 very important things required of it by the Constitution, and that were essential to a properly functioning national government. The first was to establish the executive departments. These were the departments of State, Treasury, and War that were to be directly under the President's control. The second was to establish the federal court system that Congress created by passing the Judiciary Act of 1789. One of Washington's first jobs as president was to appoint the people who would head these newly created departments. He chose Thomas Jefferson, minister to France during the Revolutionary War, to be his Secretary of State. Jefferson would deal with the nation's relations with foreign countries. Alexander Hamilton, a trusted military aide during the Revolution, was chosen to be his Secretary of the Treasury. Hamilton would deal with the nation's financial matters. Henry Knox, a Revolutionary War hero, was selected to be his Secretary of War. Knox would oversee the nation's defense. The heads of the 3 executive departments were the President's closest personal advisors and made up his first presidential cabinet. Furthermore, President Washington nominated John Jay, a prominent lawyer and figure in New York politics, to be Chief Justice of the new Supreme Court, the nation's highest court. And as Washington continued to choose people to serve in the federal government, James Madison, United States Representative from Virginia, proposed 10 amendments to the new Constitution called the Bill of Rights that were designed to safeguard personal freedoms.